I heard that we had some small people, some young people, some crazy people doing some insane things. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. I heard that over in New York, they was over there shooting at Times Square. I said, I got to figure out what's going on over here.
The 15-year-old suspect accused in the Times Square shooting faces a judge. New details about his capture and the charges he now faces. Good evening. I'm Jessica Moore. That teenage suspect is being charged as an adult, and tonight he's being held without bail, deemed a flight risk. CBS 2's Alicia Reed has the new developments from court.
15-year-old Jesus Rivas Figueroa, seen here taken into custody by U.S. Marshals on Friday, is facing 2 counts of attempted murder as well as criminal possession of a weapon and assault charges. We're no longer blurring the teen's face now that he's being charged as an adult. The PBA showing up to court in support of the officers.
This individual believed that he could steal. He believed that he could carry a legal firearm. He believed that he could shoot into a crowd, and he believed he could kill a New York City police officer, and he thought he was going to get away with it.
Arraigned in court on Saturday, police say Rivas Figueroa and 2 friends stole items from the JD Sports store on Broadway Thursday. When confronted by a security guard, police say he opened fire inside the store, hitting a 38-year-old tourist from Brazil in the leg.
So here's my first question, because we got to listen. The first thing that we always got to do is we got to ask questions. The first thing that we do is we ask questions. Ask questions. Where did a 15-year-old migrant? Look, man, I can't even go into a city that I don't know and feel comfortable enough to go and ask for where the hoes at. You know what I'm saying? Where did a 15-year-old migrant come over here illegally, get a chain, get a haircut? They got a new he got a barber. Look at this boy's hair. He got a wet set on one side and he lined up on the other side. Shout out to Q. I'm gonna read that super chat shortly. He got a barber, got a chain, got some clothes, stealing, and got a pistol. Just got here. Dude, do you know how egregious the gun laws over in New York are? Plaxico Burress had to do some time in jail because he shot himself in a club. And he already got it. Listen, he got a pistol and he willing to use it. He got one and he willing to use it. And if you try to stop him, he tried to let one go and hit a visitor from Brazil. Now imagine you over here trying to visit the United States of America. You know, the same way that we like to go over to other countries and visit, we like to go and visit, Dubai, Tulum, Jamaica, all of these places, right? Imagine that you go over to Italy or Tokyo or Colombia, or maybe you even want to get you a lady boy and you go over to Thailand, right? And I'm able to get some chains, steal, get a haircut, and find me a pistol and do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I don't even speak the language. Amazing.
This can't be the message that we're sending the world, that you can't come to New York City, that you can't do some shopping without getting shot.
2 officers spotted the teen near 7th Avenue and 47th Street and tried taking him into custody. That's when he allegedly fired at the officers before running into the subway. Court documents say the teenager returned home and tried fleeing to the city with his mother the next morning, but he was apprehended at a home in Yonkers. Court documents say he was hiding behind a dresser. Now, police say the 15-year-old arrived in New York from Venezuela less than 6 months ago.
And 6 months. And 6 months, a 15-year-old. First of all, I'm sure they got free. Where did you get housing from? How are you in behind a dress? You got furniture, you got housing, you got clothes, you got a pistol, you got a haircut, you got a chain. Where are they getting all of this stuff from? What is going on? Look at this man crying at the bottom of my screen. Look, and you know what else they gonna get? 3 hots and a cot. 3 hots and a cot. Where are they getting all of this stuff over in New York City? 6 months you over there hanging out in Yonkers? You over there with DMX? Oh, oh. Where my dogs at?
and was living at a migrant shelter on the Upper West Side. A police source tells us he's also a suspect in a January armed robbery in the Bronx, as well as another shooting in Midtown where no one was hurt. His bail has been remanded as he is deemed a flight risk.
New Yorkers need to send a clear message to our elected leaders. Demand better from our criminal justice system.
He over here robbing people. They over here running in the streets of New York and they tearing it up out there. He already a suspect in 2 other robberies. He 15. 15.
Rivas Figueroa is due back in court on Tuesday. The 2 friends he was with at the JD Sports store are also in custody. Now that tourist who was shot, she returned home today. At Manhattan Criminal Court, Elisa Reed, CBS 2 News.
Imagine coming over to New York City. I said, oh, man, I want to go to the safest place on earth where there's police officers everywhere. And you a 30-something-year-old woman from Brazil and you get shot by a 15-year-old migrant. Good God.
All right, happening today in New York City, a migrant teen who was arrested for shooting at Times Square on Saturday back in court. Meanwhile, the city is imposing a curfew at even more shelters. A new report reveals the moped crime spree goes far beyond the Big Apple. It's organized. Madison Allworth joins us live with the latest. Madison.
Good morning, Brian. A lot to get to today. New York is expanding a curfew for migrant shelters as crime within that community increases. The latest, a Venezuelan migrant accused of shooting an innocent bystander in Times Square and then firing at the police officer who was trying to arrest him, is now in court. The 15-year-old Jesus Alejandro Rivas Figueroa is being charged as an adult after prosecutors say he tried to flee. The migrant and his mother, who started living in New York City migrant housing last year, packed up their belongings on Friday after the crimes, fleeing to Yonkers, where he was found 24 hours later behind a wardrobe. The alleged shooter being charged with attempted murder, assault, attempted assault, and weapons possession. But the problems expand far beyond that. With an increase in robberies perpetrated by migrants on scooters, we are now learning that the attacks may be coordinated and linked to large crime groups. One migrant telling the Post, quote, "It's much bigger than me. In a million years, I never thought you'd catch me. I've been going to Miami every 3 weeks, and it's much bigger than me."
So what did we think was going to happen when all of this played out? They done been back and forth to Miami more times than you. You still a hostage in your own city. You ain't never even left your own city. You still over there in little old Bumbletown, North Carolina, Mississippi, Texas, Plano, Texas. They making trips. They creating gangs. They growing. They coordinated. They got pistols, mopeds, flights, free hotels, healthcare coverage. Their kids is learning the language. What did y'all think that was going to happen? What are you talking about? It's bigger than you. And in a million years, you never thought that you'd get caught. So you just operating like this is 1950 and y'all building casinos in Vegas? What are you, Little Nicky? Jesus Christ.
The Venezuelan migrant is alleged to be a part of an illicit network that has been linked to robberies around New York City, Yonkers, New Jersey, and Florida, with proceeds being sent back to South America. Now, New York City is responding in part by imposing curfews on 24 migrant shelters. The curfew.
Yeah. That'll stop it. That'll stop it. Let's throw up a curfew. The curfew, guys. Listen. They running a ring. They knocking people out. They knocking heads over. They taking flights. They sending money back to the crib. They taking over New York City and Chicago and Denver. They flying back and forth to Miami. I know what'll stop them. Let's just get a curfew. Can we get Eric Adams a round of applause? Let's set a curfew. That's going to stop them. New York is going to turn into the Warriors. Warriors, come out and play. Warriors, come out and play. Warriors, come out and play.
Curfews will be in place from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. But this represents just a fraction of the city's migrant population. These new curfews cover around 3,600 migrants. And just to put that in perspective, there are currently 67,000 migrants in more than 200 facilities here in New York City. Brian?
So, Madison, it sounds like this Venezuelan gang has used the very lax border policies on our southern border to get these MS-13 people into the New York City area specifically to be a crime gang.
Yes, it does seem that that is the case, that they're taking advantage of an open border in order to not just to get here and to claim asylum, as obviously people are doing across the border, but to, in fact, be in a city where there are more lax DA policy and prosecution in order to perpetrate crimes that then send revenues back to South America. So they.
Have y'all ever seen the Warriors? Let me show y'all the scene, because this is crazy. Y'all gotta see the scene. Warriors, come out and play. This is the migrants. Let me show y'all the migrants that's coming over into the United States of America. Oh no, they're not tripping off of you. They go to. Oh, shout out to all of my migrant friends out here taking over New York. We appreciate you for continuing to do your due diligence.